Hello there, everybody. We are looking at a very hard puzzle. It looks pretty easy when you look at it first, but it's really not. It's hard. White to move and win. Our pawn is only one step away from promoting here, but there is a very cunning defense for black trying to get stalemated. That's all the information I'm going to give you. You can post the video, see if you can find out the full solution for yourself, but I don't think anybody can see the full variation from here, actually. But give it a try. White to move and win. And when you return, I will go through all the variations with you. Go ahead. Okay, here we go. Well, the obvious plan for white is to check with the bishop and put the bishop on b8. But there is a lot of stalemate traps here, and it's really hard for white to get out of those traps and win this in the end. Uh, Still, this is the correct first move, but let's just look what happens if white plays something else. King f2 would be the only other obvious variation, but it's not winning for white because black will now get his king activated, and he will move around the h file with his king like that, and sooner or later, when the king moves, black can come to g4 and put pressure on this, and white cannot come anywhere. Something maybe like this. We can just play rook c8, try to do this. Well, then it's a check, and the rook comes here, and the king will also come here. That's a typical draw. And if black tries something like bishop e3 instead, well, the rook can just move around. And if the king moves, well, black will get his king here, and this pawn cannot be defended. So white will really get nowhere. That's very long variations, and I cannot show you all, but trust me, that is the draw. Okay, so white starts with the bishop check here on f4. And now black has this beautiful move, king h1. You see, put themselves into a stalemate position. Now, if we play bishop b8, which looks like a good move, of course, you think first that black can sacrifice and we take back with the queen. It's a stalemate, but of course we cannot. We can take back with a rook, and the white wins this pretty easy. But black has another defense after bishop b8, which is not the right move in this position. Black plays this beautiful rook e4. And now we cannot promote to a queen because this is a stalemate. The rook is pinned and the king cannot go anywhere. So that's a stalemate and it's a draw. And if we try something like this to promote to a rook instead, then black has this beautiful move. Rook f4 check. Same here. If we take, it's a stalemate. And if we don't take, we will lose our pawn, and the rook and bishop against the rook and the pawn is not winning. That's only a draw. So that's really the reason we cannot play bishop b8 because of rook e4, and there's nothing else we can do. If we try to do some king move, the rook will come to a4, have control over this pawn, and the king cannot move anywhere. So after this, king h1, white has to do something else. And it's really only one move that is possible. It's king f2. Now it's getting really interesting because still, you see here, it's a stalemate position. Black can move some things, but he cannot go here. Then we can play bishop b8. And look at this. The king cannot move. The rook has to move. Either he sacrifices here, we take back, and then the king can go to h2. Or he needs to take here, and we take back with a rook. And of course, it's winning in the next move, like this. So, was it that easy? No, it wasn't. Because black doesn't have to go to a8, of course. What about if he plays something like this? Rook d8. What happens now? Still, we cannot go here. Why? Well, because it will be a check on d2. The rook will come to a2. And the same we looked at before. The king will be able to come up and attack this pawn. And white cannot win from here. So after rook d8, white has to find something else. Can you see it? Here it comes. We block the rook from coming to d2 with a sham sacrifice of our bishop. Obviously, cannot take it. We promote to a queen with a check, and it will be a checkmate next move on h8, or take the rook if he puts it in between. Well, anyway, it's better to just checkmate, of course, on h8. Well, okay, so beautiful. Bishop d6. What will black do now? Well, it just moves to c8, and it threatens rook c2, and then rook a2. c2 with a check. Still, we cannot put our bishop here. It will be the rook comes to a2, and we will not win this. So we have to do something else. And what is that? Well, let's give it another go. Another sham sacrifice, bishop c7. Now the rook cannot come back. We will simply take it, and then we move away from protecting the h2 square. If black does something like rook e8, well, then we can go to b8, because there's no check anywhere. And of course, you cannot take it. We take back and promote to a rook. And if black plays rook a8, well, same there. We looked at this before. White can play bishop b8. He cannot take here. We take back with the rook. Or if he sacrifices here, we just take it, and the king will be able to come up, and we win with this pawn. But it's not done. Look at this. Black has another really nice try. He will play rook b8. This is amazing. We cannot take it. We cannot take it with the bishop, and we cannot take it with the pawn and promote to anything, because it's a stalemate. The king is trapped in the corner. So, and it's also threatening rook b2 check and get to a2 and stop the pawn from behind. And of course, we cannot play this either. Why? Well, it doesn't get us anywhere. The rook will just start moving around again, and it will be the same. So we have to find something else. Can you see how white wins from here? It's another bishop sham sacrifice. We play bishop e5. We protect the b2 square. If we take the rook, if it comes there, well, the king can come up. And look at this. If it takes the bishop with a pawn, well, then he has something he can move. Then we can simply take here with the queen. We can move either the king or the pawn, and it will be a checkmate next move. So it's a great move. Bishop e5. And now black cannot do anything, really. We try to go back to c8. What happens then? Now we can simply take this pawn, and these two pawns will win this for white. What about just trying to protect here? Well, it doesn't really matter, of course. We can play bishop b8 also, and just get the queen next move, or take back under promote to a rook. So after the beautiful bishop e5, it's more or less black has to resign, and we finally won this. and it's such a nice puzzle. I hope you enjoyed this as much as I did. Have a great day, everybody. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.